This is Cartagena. I came up here via Caucasia up through Sincelejo, up the kind of northwest coast of Colombia. I drove up this morning, and I was here a year ago, and this place has changed more than I thought a city, you know, that it was capable for one city to change in such a short period of time. It has just gone through the floor. It's just unbelievable. From about 80 miles outside Cartagena, on the way in on the road, you're harassed constantly by people, you know, threatening to throw stuff at you if you don't give them money.
Colombia at the time, I suppose, you know, there's a bit of an old worldwide recession going on, but there was an awful lot of kind of blockades on the road where people were trying to extort money from you. And the closer you got to Cartagena, the more of these I started to see. And what was going on was, the closer you got, the more and more aggressive they were, actually. And at one point then, there was a bunch of youths with chains across the road. Now, whether or not they were just trying to extort money, or whether or not they're just trying to rob the bike, you don't know that when you're on your own and you're coming up to this blockade and there's 30, 40 people there. But I mean, it was absolutely nerve-wracking, because in some of them people were holding machetes.
It was like gangs of 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 guys standing in the middle of the road trying to get money off you, basically, in return for you, for not breaking you out of it or doing whatever it is. I must have met at least 7 or 8 of those on the road. I've never felt more intimidated, because in a car just drive straight through it, it's no problem, but on a bike, if a guy's holding a chain across the road, that would clothesline you straight off. So the only way I could deal with it is to kind of gun right for the guy who's holding one side of it, so, you know, veer over to one of the guys who's holding one end of the chain. So he's either got one way to do it, the guy on the far right pulls right with him, or he pushes out of your way and you get through. So that's kind of how I handled it, I guess.
And the whole plan was, I presume, is they'd stop you, you have to give them money and then they go on. But what was actually going on, there was this massive carnival going on in Cartagena, and they knew there was massive traffic heading for it, and that's what they're doing, just stopping everybody extorting money from them on the road.
What's going on here? Look at all these kids. Oh, gracias, man. This is insane. The police aren't fucking dealing with it either. It's just madness. I swear to God, I've never seen anything like it now. There's more of it going up here on the left, look. What the fuck is going on? This is insane. It's fucking mad. Mental. Fucking mental.
But what I decided to do, and it's a trick that's helped me innumerable times when travelling, especially at night in kind of the boonies, is I waited for a truck to come along and then just nestled in behind it, because, you know, the big 40-foot Arctics, they just go straight through these blockades. They don't, and, you know, they all clear. And then I was nestled in behind it. But it really set the same for a terrible time in Cartagena, because it was, I mean, you know, travelling alone in Colombia, being in Colombia is, you know, that's kind of stressful enough on it by itself, you know, you could argue. But then having that sort of intimidation and harassment on the road, that really just ratcheted up a level. And yeah, definitely not something I ever want to experience again.
They do is they just harass tourists for the cash. The police do fuck all.
I think all that's happening is the recession tends to hit the poorer countries the hardest, and these people don't have a pot to piss in, and they were just extracting a toll on the road. So yeah, it was shit. And the whole way through the city, you try and walk through any of the streets here, there's bunches of black kids coming up to you with fucking buckets, either paint or buckets of piss and shit, saying, give me money or I'll throw it over you. It's just unbelievable. At one stage, I couldn't go down the street because there was a bunch of kids down that end, and I couldn't go up the other street because there was a bunch of another bunch down the other end. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. You couldn't walk out of one street, couldn't even walk outside the hotel because there was a bunch of hooers there all roaring at you, kind of, oh, suck your dick, $10, fucking gringo, all this bollocks. I've never been in a bigger shithole in my entire life. But what's disappointing was I was here a year ago and this was okay, you know, this is pretty good, but I never ever come back to it again. Like, if somebody told me tomorrow that Cartagena burned, you know, because a fucking errant missile, a nuclear missile was fired out of a submarine from far out in the Atlantic and it just happened to fucking land directly in Cartagena, I'd call that a good fucking start.
But all of a sudden, just when I was about to ride off the place and say I'm never coming back to the Kip, I walked through the old gates out to the kind of new Cartagena, and they're having their big festival, their carnival here. And there's thousands of people having a party in the middle of the street.
I met this Australian couple, couple, they won't like that. There's this guy and his cousin, and they were travelling, and they were in Cartagena as well, they were staying there. So I ended up having a couple of beers with them that evening as we kind of watched this carnival going on. And then the night finished off with this incredible concert in a square. And the whole time I was there, I was trying to kind of rationalise this in my head, and I said, is this really the same town I drove into where, you know, only a couple of hours beforehand, there was a young fella standing there with a bucket of shit and piss threatening to throw it over me unless I gave him some money. I mean, I've never had such a diametrically different experience in such a short period of time in my entire life. Alright, Cartagena. This fucking town is crazy. Everything was shit earlier on, then went to the parade. Everything's been good since. I'm just leaving a party behind here, which is in the main square, this big massive salsa party. It's absolutely insane, this place. It's absolutely insane. But even when I was heading back to the hotel, you know, well, I wouldn't call it a hotel. Like, when I say hotel, if in your mind you're picturing luxury, wrong image, right? This is a room with a door and a roof. That's, you know, that's the image that you should have, with loads of mosquitoes, right? And a fan swinging around on the ragged edge on the roof.
Room is full of fucking mosquitoes. Full. Can I recommend a wet towel? What you do is you wait for them to land and then just push the wet towel, and it means you don't have to whack the shit out of them and they just get killed by the towel, but they're fuckers. Here's one.
Cartagena is, you know, it's renowned as one of the most beautiful cities in Latin America. I'll just say it's got its warts, right? But it's this incredible fort built around the city. And it actually took 200 years to build. to build. And it used to be attacked by Sir Francis Drake and all these pirates because they were funneling the Spanish gold the Inca gold and the Aztec gold from there over to Spain. So it was constantly getting attacked by pirates. But there's a very good story, or a very funny story, that during the process of building it over the 200 years, the Spanish king, when he was looking at what it was costing him, he turned around and said, "This farm is so big, I should be able to look out my back window in Spain and see it." Okay, well, I'm walking on the old ruined wall here, which surrounds the old city of Cartagena in northwestern Colombia. It's nice. It's hard to get a good picture of it though, because it literally, there's no great vantage point actually where you can see a lot of it. It's not treated like, the way it should be, because quite as you're walking along, you'll see loads of people pissing up against it. So maybe that's just a kind of a statement of how they feel about the Spanish. I don't know. I had a good tour around Cartagena. All of Cartagena, it seems like there's every second shop is a bakery, and they're constantly releasing fresh produce. And I mean, if you're okay with eating on the street there, you can eat anything you want for tiny money. You can have a huge feed. And I also went in, there's an awful lot of street statues done in iron, which are all rusted down, but that's how they're designed. You can see it's a very beautiful city, but again, it has an underbelly. You need to be careful. And that's the same for cities all over the world. Cities by and large are shitholes. They tend to draw scumbags. Where out in the countryside, that's where you're going to meet the real people, the kind of where you'll get the real sense of what it's like to live in that country. I've never had such a seesaw day in my entire life. I've never ever had them. It's just unbelievable. But I'll be burning out of Cartagena first thing in the morning, make no mistake about that. And I won't be back.